What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Speed Week here in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic. And well, on Monday, we managed to get the open wheel racer into second place with 720 kilometers an hour. And then on Wednesday, we did the Pagani Zonda Revolution and got last place or 10th place on the speederboard with 500 kilometers an hour. And sadly, we're going to try and knock that one off today with the Rayfield Caliburn. This is the FTE edition, the French Toast exclusive edition. Supposed to be the fastest one, I'm sure it is. It is exceedingly light at 1,228 kilograms, almost as light as the open wheel racer, but it does have loads more power from that V10, a double overhead cam engine. 1,680 base horsepower from this engine. That is going to be insane. Obviously, we'll be putting performance parts on it, tuning it up. But we got this one from the auction house. We got it from the good auction house. It is in incredibly good condition. But I did get a good deal. I paid 184,870 for it. I could already sell it now for 322,760, and I have done nothing but put it on the lifter, and the profit is already 137,890, which is insane. So hopefully when we come to sell this one at the end of today, fully fixed, fully customized, painted in our own color choice, maybe with some copper and carbon pieces, this one is going to be a lot of fun. You should go get this one. The link is in the description below. It is by French Toast, as I've already said. Let's take a look at the shop for it. Rayfield Caliburn. There are a few different versions. There's a lot of color in it. So obviously you've got car part 1. I'm not sure what any of these are yet, but they're all colored like that. And then just bits to throw on, lots of colored bits to go in there. I'm pretty confident anything can go on anything. It's just up to you for color choice, but we will see as we get on later on. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. I cannot wait to get stuck into this one. So let's take it over to the car wash and get it cleaned. I mean, we're going to anyway, but it probably doesn't need it. Here we are then at the car wash. Let's get her cleaned up, get her back on the lift, and then we can get that beast of an engine ripped out, ready to start stripping it down. On you go. Interior. That took a little while to load. Get that done, and then it'll be time. First things first, as we try not to make a mess, let's have a look and see if that oil pan is there. Yes, it is on this beast of an engine. We know we're going to have to take off the rear drive axles at some point soon, but let's get that oil drained first. Out you come. Let's get you over here and get you drained out. Is it dirty? Is it clean? It should be clean. It's not even done that much miles or kilometers. There's a lot of it in there as well, but never mind. Let's get you out and let's start stripping down some of these engine parts. If I could get to it, that is. So we know we need to take the wheels off. I'm going to crack on with that. There we go. Both wheels and both rear drive axles off. Can I get the starter from here? I can't even see the starter. Oh, there it is, just hiding down the bottom there. I can get it from here. Off you come, and then let's grab that gearbox out. Thank you very much. Out you come, and let's get it back on the ground and get that engine ripped out at the back. Oh, there is an engine lift. There is an engine compartment that we can open. Sorry. Just there, trunk window. It does have a cover on it, so we'll take that off as well. Out you come, and then let's rip that engine out. Nice and easy. Thank you very much. Let's jump in and have a look and see what we've got in the engine bay. Battery, windshield washer, reservoir, the ABS module and pump. And then down the front, we've got a few bits as well. Brake servo, the coolant reservoir. There's a fuse box and the ECU. Nicely placed one on top of the other. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, so I've got a few bits to drain. It doesn't look like there's any power steering on this one. There shouldn't be anything missing. That's part of the engine. That's fine. No, I don't think there is anything missing, so I'm going to get on and try and get all of these liquids drained from here. Hopefully this works. So we go in to the additional tools, drain tool, and click and hold. I'll see you in a minute. Did manage to get them all drained from here, so let's start stripping brake servo, coolant reservoir. Let's get the ECU out, and then we'll just rip the lid off the fuse box. Oh, quite a few fuses in there today. In fact, I think I've seen that exact layout on the last car. But anyway, a battery out. Windshield washer reservoir out, and then the ABS module and pump out as well. Hopefully nice and easy. Sweet. We'll have a look at the suspension while we're here. It looks pretty nice setup, double wishbone with a single shock. Let's just make sure it's all here. It should all be complete. This was like a 98% complete car. It does look like it's all there at the back with a double wishbone. We'll go down the front. I won't take that wheel off yet. I'll grab that in a second. But with it having the front drive axle in, it's probably complete under there. Inner and outer tie rod, a steering rack. It looks like it's all here. This is a good sign. And is that a big intercooler at the front there? Yes, it is. So we'll have to get that one out as well. So we'll get on. I'll strip the suspension next. I'll get all of that done off screen. And then we'll go and strip down that beautiful V10 engine. I'll see you in a minute when I've got all of this finished. Just the bodywork left to go on the Rayfield Caliburn, but we need to go and strip that V10 to get the battery on charge en route, and then let's jump into this beautiful engine. Let's just start off with the belts and the rollers down here, see what of these need to come off. I'm assuming you're after the belt, you're first then. One belt, and oh, that's the cover, two belts. Let's get this roller off and this off, see if we can look under this cover here. 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, out you come, and 2 timing chains. That's what I expect to see normally. 2 timing chains going both up into the head cover, basically, connecting to the timing gears there. So let's get some of this off then. Let's see where we end up. Some of the timing shoes down the bottom here. Out you come, and out you come. Can I get the chains, or do I have to wait? I have to wait. Although it doesn't tell me what for. I'm assuming it's for these in here. So let's start at the top then. Off with the air filter cover and the air filter. Then the base. Same on the other side. Out you come, and out you come. And we've got a throttle on either side. Obviously, they can both be performance parts, so that's always good. Out you come. Let's just grab that fuel filter while we're here. Then the fuel rails. Was that one either side? One either side. Nice, nice. And then that big Porsche intake manifold off the top there. It's not really for a Porsche, but we'll set as an engine swap. Off comes that, and that's all part of the head. That's there. So let's get this wiggly wobbly exhaust manifold off as well. Goes about everywhere, really, doesn't it? Look at that. It does look good, though. Loving that. Let's get the coils off, and then let's get these covers off and see what we've got going on underneath. Hopefully. Cover number 1, off you come. Let's have a look-see. Yes, so that's where it connects into the cam gear and the cam gear. That should mean we can take the chain off, but it's the other side first. I won't bother taking all them caps off. In fact, I'll get a bit of this off camera. So once you've got the cam gears off, you can just take off the caps, take out the camshafts, pull out the spark plugs. The chain comes available straight away as soon as you have got them cam gears off. It just didn't on the other side because it was underneath. And that's pretty much that. Let's get the head off and take a look under there first. Should just be straight down into the pistons, nothing else, but we will see. Yes, it is pretty easy on that one. I'll get the other side stripped, and then I'll get the engine block stripped off. Obviously, you got a few ancillary stuff. Yeah, a power steering pump, your alternator, and your water pump. Off you come there, and then that's basically it. So we'll get in. I'll get underneath. We'll have a look at the piston layout. Because that is a big chunky oil pan on there, isn't it? We'll have a look at the piston layout. I'll show you that before we disappear. Before we get into the oil pan, as per usual, is the Porsche clutch cover, then the Porsche clutch, and then that should be it into the oil pan. Let's get you off, and then let's take a look at the piston layout in the V10. Look at that, 5 on either side, as you'd expect, and then 4 crankshaft bearings. Quite easy. So we'll get all of this cleared, get everything repaired, and then we'll work onto that bodywork. Now, I probably am going to replace a lot of that bodywork because I want to change it to some different colours, but I will go through that all with you in a bit. Everything is repaired. It is time to sort this bodywork out. So let's jump in and start tearing parts off, basically. So we've got car part 2. I'm just trying to keep an eye on what I'm taking off. Headlight, obviously the hood, any of this. Oh, no, didn't want to do that. Front bumper, out you come. That suspension. There we go. Left fender, right fender. Any more pieces here? Door, including the mirror. Off you come. Car part 3. I'm just trying to actually make sure I grab everything. Car part 1. Nice. Then we've got the trunk window, the trunk, and... oh, it takes out the body light as well there. Oh, no, left tail light. There it is. Right tail light, that's bizarre. Car part 5, off you come. Bumper, out you go. Any more of this? Look at them turbos. That is insane. Anyway, Let's carry on. Front left door, that takes off the mirror as well. Now, there is interior in this. You can just about see it. There's a front left seat there, and there's a front right seat. I didn't mean to sit on it, but look how good the interior looks. We do have to match that up later. So let's get that taken out. Out of view and out of view. Nice and easy. And I believe that should be everything. So let's jump in and have a look. Body still at 11%. So what is on it? Front, rear right fender, rear left fender, and the engine cover. Okay. So where do they go then? Ah, down there. Nice. 1, 2, and the engine cover. And then that should be everything. 1%, and yes, nothing showing up on there. The car is fully stripped. Ideal. Now we need to figure out what we want to do with the colorwise. So let's go into the shop, not the electronic shop, the shop for the car parts. Now I'm thinking of a copper, black, and red. Now I know I've already got some red plastic parts, so I'm probably going to keep them. But the rest of the things I'm going to change for copper, except for the doors, because they changed the interior, and you can't change this interior here. So I've got a red and black / grey interior. So I need to go for something that's got a red or black interior. And the only thing I think that's going to be suitable is for me, for what I want to do today, is probably this carbon fibre one. So I'm going to see what I can repair, probably most of it if I wanted to. Change a lot of it to copper parts and some other carbon fibre parts. We'll see when we end up in a minute. I'll catch you guys in a second before we head over to the paint shop. Let's get all this body put back together then. I think I've bought everything. I do have a couple of things that I have a few of just to have a look at. So let's throw the hood on. I went for this hood because it's got the copper hinges. So we are going to need to paint that. I don't know what yet. Left headlight. Copper with the tinted lights. I didn't like the lights on. The front bumper is the copper front bumper there. Obviously, there are some painting to happen. Now, car part 2, I've lost a piece. I need to go and buy that piece again. Should be the paintable one. Where's it gone? I've lost one. There it is. Paintable. Let's purchase you. I tried to paint it separately in the paint shop, and then it decided it didn't want to do that anymore. So, paintable one on there. Then I've got copper fender. On you go, on you go. The doors are the black carbon fibre doors because I needed the interior to match. We've got copper mirrors. Car part 1 is obviously a copper piece going on there. Car part 3 is paintable. Again, I've lost that piece as well. I don't know what's going on with this. That should be... Is that car part 3? Yeah, car part 3 should be the paintable one. But apparently, if you try and paint them separately in the paint shop, they disappear. So don't do that. Rear left fender, paintable. And the rear right fender is also paintable as well. Rear bumper, copper exhaust tips. I've got tinted lights. I did try the lights on one. I didn't like them very much. Car part 4. Again, if you try and paint it separately, it disappears. Paintable, there's paintable, on you go. I want to make it paintable. I don't know how I'm going to figure the rest of this out yet. Car part 5, let's go for the wing up. Yeah, wing up, I quite like the wing up. Engine cover, wow. It doesn't like these very much. Paintable carbon, is that what I was picking? No, just plain paintable. No, we'll go paintable carbon. I think I tried plain paintable, but it seems to have disappeared. So we go with the paintable carbon. We've got the trunk in paintable carbon, then the window, and then the trunk left tail light is the tinted version there. So I'm going to crack on, get the rest of this finished. Next up, we will be in the paint shop. You've seen pretty much everything now. Got the SoCal sort of grey coloured Cyberpunk license plate for this one. On you go, and I'll finish the rest of this off, and then we'll head over to the paint shop. I'll see you in a minute. Here we are then in the paint shop. As you can see, there are no liveries for this one. First time for French Toast, no liveries. Now, if you're looking at the car right now, all the bits that are white, I basically want them in copper, but I don't want to turn the carbon fibre copper. So we'll see how that works. Because if I do this, that's the sort of effect I want. But I want all of these carbon fibre bits to still be black. So I've got a bit of a challenge to figure out how to do this and get it sorted. So I'm going to play around with a few things. I'll meet you back on the lift in a minute and see whether we worked it out or not. Not sure. Here it is then, the finished body. I think it looks absolutely fantastic personally. Loving the copper parts mixed in with the carbon fibre black and then a bit of gloss black as well on top of there, just to finish a few bits off. So what I did is I painted it all in a copper, so I got all the colours matching. Then I stripped all the parts off and painted the car gloss black again, and then threw everything back on so that the carbon fiber didn't go that orangey weird color. I did also repaint the doors because they were showing as like orange strip on the inside. These bits along here went orange basically, and I didn't like them very much. So we took them off, repainted them back to gloss black, and this is the finished product. Now I think all of the underside should probably just be this coppery color, or copper bronzy color, whatever you want to call this one here. I think it is actually copper. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do with the suspension. Unsure what I'm going to do with the engine. Again, it's got that big engine cover on it, so it doesn't matter too much. But I will throw some coppery colours on there, a bit of black as well, and make it still look pretty sweet. So that's what I got to do. I've got some suspension parts and engine parts to paint, and then we'll get it all back together, start reassembling before we're outside in the sun, checking out how good this paint job looks in the sunshine. I'll see you in a bit. Well, I've got everything painted. Let's start taking a look at things. Let's start with the shocks. The shock just in black, the spring in that copper. Looking pretty good, I think, there. Let's check out the front ones as well. On you go. That's looking... I mean, the black and copper is just a beautiful combination anyway. Let's start getting some stuff on, though. This is all the bits on the front side that can't be painted. So let's see what we've got that can be painted. The front cross member, beautiful. Obviously in that copper. Let's just throw some of these rubber bushings in so I don't forget them in a moment. Lower suspension arm in the copper. Again, there is a lot of copper under here, but I am loving this. It looks absolutely great. On you go in your copper as well. Looking nice. Then we got the shock. Obviously, you've seen that in its black and copper, but it's just looking so good. Very happy with it. On goes with the end link. Then we got the caliper in black. Sadly, the copper just would not go on it. It wasn't matching up. It wasn't looking nice at all. That's the front end, one side of it at least, completed. Let's go down the back and have a look what we got down here. The rear axle knuckle housing can be painted, so it goes in copper in this one. And then the same again, upper and lower suspension arms, both in the copper, looking absolutely great. On you go, on you go, on you go. And then that shock, and then we'll just make our way up to the brake caliper. Just make sure it looks all right back here as well. I love that knuckle housing in copper. I think it looks so good. Let's get this done, though. On goes the cover, on goes the rear hub. In you go. Should be a bearing in there as well. And then the brake disc, then the brake pad, and then the caliper. Obviously, it's four-wheel drive, so we've got the drive axles to go in, but they can't go in at the back until the engine's in. And the front, oh, I forgot a piece. I've just remembered. This one here, I've done that in black, just to throw a bit of colour in the back. So I should have been able to put these drive axles in here. Nice, on you go. I can't believe it lets me put that one on without anything else on it. But yes, next up, we're going to be sorting out this engine bay. I won't be putting these in. They don't go in until the engine anyway. I don't know why they show up. But next up, we'll sort the engine bay out. I've got to get the car back on the ground first. But before that, I need to get all of these bits in. So I will see you in a minute. I am absolutely loving this suspension setup with all of the copper in there. Looking great with a few splashes of black in the shocks, in the brake caliper, and obviously in that front diff there. Looking pretty sweet, but we do need to get this engine bay sorted out. Now I'm just going to start throwing this in because there is quite a lot going on. I've just changed the sensitivity on my mouse. That was weird. ECU in, then I'll get the fuse box base in. Normally I'd paint this, but I have just left this one blank. I will come back and finish that later. And in true typical me fashion, I have once again forgot my battery. Great, thank you. Anyway, ABS pump, on you go. And the ABS module, I will go and grab that battery in a second. And obviously I need to get that fuse box all filled up anyway. That is it for the engine bay. Just the engine to go, obviously, in the battery. I'm going to crack on and get this fuse box finished. Drive shaft can't go in until the engine's in. I don't know why it's showing me I can now. Bit bizarre, but anyway, I'll get the rest of this done. And then next up, we're going to build that engine. I have thrown lots of colour in it as well. It looks fantastic. Well, at least it did in the paint shop. Here we are then, building this beautiful V10 engine. I cannot wait to get this one finished. It's going to look great, I hope. I've left all of these bits unpainted. In fact, this was the only bit that could be painted that I haven't. Just thought, as you can't paint these two, we'll leave it empty so that you can see it. Obviously, the engine block and the oil pan are painted in a gloss black along with the oil filter, just because. So let's get this engine head on, and I'm very happy of this. It doesn't happen with all the engine heads, but this performance part engine head paints on the outside with that beautiful copper color, looking absolutely great. Very happy with that. It looks so good. We'll get the second head on as well. There's a few bits that can't be painted or that go on next. So I just thought I'd throw these on, and then we'll get all of the innards bits sorted out along with these exhaust manifolds, because sadly they can't be painted either, but they look great in their chrome colouring anyway. So I'm going to get on and get all of the innards here filled up, and then we'll get on and throw the rest of this colour on as well. Right, all of the innards are done at both sides. This one's actually ready for its cover, but we won't do that yet. First off, let's get the chain and the timing chain shoes in. On you go, and on you go. Then we'll get this cam gear on as well. Then we'll get the head on. Now, the head is only black. I had a rule of thumb when I was doing this, basically. If it didn't look good in the copper colour, it went black. That was the basis of it. So there's a few bits in here that are black because the copper wasn't... It just didn't work on them. For whatever reason, sometimes it's the material they're made of. Sometimes it's just because it doesn't look that good. Anyway, the front cover there, that timing chain cover in the copper, looking great. Get a few of these bits on just so we can fill it in a little bit, see what's going on. On with that belt. In fact, if we can get both the belts done here and get this front end finished, that'll be pretty sweet, and we can just do the top. On you go, and on you go. I actually think that's it. So on with this cover. On you go. Done, 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 done. I'll get the ignition coils done in a minute. We know what it looks like. So the intake manifold is in copper. It is so good. It looks absolutely stunning in that copper. I'm so happy with it. Looking absolutely great. I did toy... Oh, I missed it. I did toy with the idea of doing these throttles black, but they just look so good in the copper, I just couldn't not. Then obviously I did the fuel rails in copper as well for the top metal components. All really had to be copper. We'll get you on as well. On you go there. Now, this is the cool bit. These air filter bases are in black. They didn't paint well. It just didn't work at all. So we just left them as they were. In you go, and on with the air filter. And then these air filter covers looked so good in the copper. I couldn't not do it. They literally look incredible. I'm so happy with how this engine looks. It's actually unbelievable. It is looking so great. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I can get these ignition coils finished off. The word eluded me for a second there. Then we'll get the engine ripped out and dropped back in the car. I'll see you in just a moment. All finished, looking absolutely beautiful. Let's get it off of here. Let's get it into the Caliburn. Let's come down. I've taken off the engine cover and lifted up the trunk lid, obviously. Let's get you put in. Let's get you put away and see if we can see it from here. Did I even put it in? Is it in? It is in. I can't see it though. Let's jump to the battery. There we go. It does sit quite far back. I mean, it's going to have an engine cover on it anyway, so you can't fully see it. But that is looking absolutely fantastic. Have I got some bits to put in from here? Drive shaft I can't do until I'm underneath, along with the gearbox as well. So no, nothing to put in at the moment. I've got some wheels to put on. Let's get that gearbox in, actually. Let's jump to that. Here we are underneath. Let's get the gearbox in. Great colour in the copper. Looking absolutely fantastic. Loving this. Along with the starter as well. He's also copper painted. Just to give it a bit of splash under there. Let's get these drive axles in. And then we're ready for the wheels. And then we'll be outside in the sun. So I'm going to get these done. I'm going to get some liquids topped up. You can see all the little components here. Need to get all these filled up. I need to get the wheels done. And then we'll be outside in the sun and ready to finish this car off. Hopefully it's going to be quick. We are looking for a new speederboard champion today. Here we are then with the finished Rayfield Caliburn, the FTE edition, the French Toast exclusive edition, looking absolutely fantastic. And just looking at this bumper, look at the front details on this. You've got lights pinging to show that everything's running. You've even got this down here. It looks absolutely fantastic. Even a little light flickering there. I think there's a few little dotted lights dotted around. There's some at the back down here. Little red light there pinging to show it's all working. It is absolutely fantastic. This mod looks absolutely beautiful. The only one slight issue with it is the doors. Now, obviously, you can see they go up through the fender. Unfortunately, there isn't a working, properly scissor door in the game yet, so French Toast just did the best he could. Sadly, it does that, but it doesn't make any difference. It drives perfect. It still looks perfect with the doors closed. You only need this open to get in it, and you do also see these light up. Look at them flashing as well. They do look absolutely fantastic. Let's just quickly talk about these rims. I have kept them bog standard apart from painting them. They're the Rim 41A is what came on the car originally. I actually just repaired them because they were in very good condition. They are 24-inch with a 30 profile and a 325 width going on there. And they are the two-tone. Obviously, I've done the copper bits here, and they come at standard black anyway. Really fits in with the color scheme of the car. Looking absolutely fantastic. They are great. This wing sticking up, and as much as I don't like engine covers, this one painted looks beautiful. And you've also got the lights on the engine cover there, showing that everything is working. It's so good. I love this mod. The only thing that is difficult is taking a seat inside it. You have to get it just right to find that. You see, you can't sit here. I'm clicking, clicking, clicking. It's only when you can see the front seat show up. And if you click it where I just did, it is perfect. But let's get this one started up. Looking beautiful in here, by the way. Nice rumble. All right, let's give it some gas. Oh, that V10 whine. That is such a beautiful sound. Absolutely stunning. But let's get this one onto the dyno and see what horsepower she's got with all of the tuned parts. Here we are then at the dyno with the Rayfield Caliburn FTE and its beautiful V10. 1680 starting horsepower. Loads of performance parts. What have we squeezed out of this one today? Let's have a look. An additional 1,096 horsepower. 66%. Percentage-wise, not great, but the actual horsepower gained is incredible. 2,775 is now our horsepower for the Rayfield Caliburn. That is insane. Absolutely mad. Let's just have a look at the gearbox setup I've done for this one today. Quick look in there. 3 ratio, and it is literally roughly 110 kilometers an hour between each gear. Gear 1 to 110, 2 to 220, 330, 440, 550, 660, 770, 880, or there and thereabouts. Up to 990 in the top gear. That's the setup we've gone for. Let's get this beast onto the speed track and see what speed we can get out of it. 909 kilometers an hour is what we're aiming for. I'm not sure if we'll beat it. I don't know, but that's what we're aiming for. If not, I'm definitely hoping to get something good on this speeder board. Second, third, maybe knock that unicorn off its place. But we're aiming for 909. We'll see where we end up in just a moment. Here we are then at the track with the 2,775 horsepower Rayfield Caliburn that you can see out of. Surprisingly, considering when you're on the outside, you can't see anything inside. But let's go. Let's see what speed we can get. That is incredible off the line. Wow. Actual wow. Already at 400 kilometers an hour. We are pulling massively to the left. Now we're about level. We're pulling all over the place. The suspension could do with tightening, I believe. Let's see where we end up, though. Oh, 703 kilometers an hour. I was hoping for a little better. Maybe a fine-tuning and we could sort it out. Well, actual wow, that was incredible. I feel like it could have been better. I feel like the suspension could do with stiffening up a bit around it just to sort of keep it flat when it's traveling at ludicrously high speeds. Pulled a bit to the left and the right, even though all the alignments were center. Bit disappointing, but I definitely will come back to this car. This is a car we're going to 3-star. This exact model, the FTE. We're going to come back and do this one another time. We're going to 3-star it. We may even see if French Toast will edit the config to stiffen the suspension a little bit more. Hopefully to keep it straight down that speed track. Hopefully before the Drag Race DLC comes out so we can keep all of that in a line. Absolutely fantastic. But this has been great. I have well and truly loved this. French Toast has done a spectacular job. All of the little details, all the lighting, everything like that. Even the way the doors open, although it does go into the fender. Not his fault. Nothing he could do about it. The interior is absolutely beautiful. This whole car is incredible. It's well laid out in the shop. Very easy to use. Very easy to buy. Quite expensive. I'll give him that. But download this one yourself. Get it in the Steam Workshop. There will be a link in the description below if you want to use that to go and grab it. No affiliation. Just ease of access for you guys, basically. But let's get into the facts and figures about this Rayfield Caliburn. Now, you saw at the beginning I bought the car for 184,870. That was quite expensive. But I have spent 107,216 in modifying this beautiful car today, getting it to where it is, painting it. Bearing in mind, I did buy a few additional parts. I think I bought like 2 hoods. I bought all of the plastic car parts bits, you know, the coloured bits. multiples of them, multiple lights. So I did buy a few extra bits that I didn't need to, probably wasted a bit of money doing that. But anyway, I'm still happy with it. Let's jump in and let's see how much we can get this one sold for. I'm on the wrong screen. 483,305 is the total sale price. Let's take away what we spent. The total being 292,086. Leaves our profit at 191,219. Very close to 200,000 profit. So that's actually incredible. Very light car, only done 1,500 kilometers, just over, all 100% completed, and obviously now with 2,775 horsepower, a gain of 66%. Absolutely incredible. This is the last car for Speed Week officially. Speed Week is over. We've had a new second place, a new third place. We did have a new 10th place, but he's just been knocked off the speeder board by the Rayfield Caliburn. Bit of a shame. But it is time to sell this one. We're going to definitely 100% come back to this one. I'm going to get myself one to keep eventually. So we'll see where that ends up. But it's time to say goodbye to you. Off you go, Rayfield Caliburn. You were great fun. I really love that. Let's go and see what we've got next, though. Here it is. This is another Ford Mustang. But I did say Speed Week is officially over, but it's not quite. We're squeezing one more sort of in the end. This is the Shelby GT500 Super Snake with the 1,000 horsepower upgrade. The starting horsepower, the V8 double overhead cam supercharged engine starts at 1,000 horsepower on this one. Absolutely incredible. I cannot wait to get stuck into this. We did get it from the auction where we'd only got a little bit ripped off, just over 1,500 off the sell price. So that's pretty good. But this Ford Mustang is insane. These are obviously all modded in by Payne. There's loads of them. There will be a link in the description for the video on Monday when this one comes out. But thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this one. If you did, do remember, if you can, like, subscribe, comment, all of them beautiful things to help the channel grow further so I can get this content to more people. Maybe I can start making more content, maybe playing some other different games. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, I will see you in the next one. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.